instructional materials go in front of a child is that decision is made at the local level. What they do is that they look at that approved list that the textbook commission approves and the State Board of Education approves, and they take from those books and those choices, they try to choose the best possible choice. So, but those choices are made at the local level. The final choice is made at the local level. One of the things that we kept asking ourselves during this process was, who chooses the book that goes in front of my child? And more importantly, who chooses the chooser? And so the chooser is what we're trying to get at. Who makes those decisions? Who chooses those people? And so what we were trying to do is to design a process by which we would get the kind of results that we wanted. Accuracy. Hal was one of the reviewers that brought public input during the textbook commission meetings on this latest book, on this latest list of books. And so that's how we continued on that.
Here's a related question. What is the ratio of teachers to non-teachers that are on the textbook commission?
I don't know.
So they're all teachers?
Basically, everyone has to have an educational background, whether they're teachers or administrators, they're all in education.
Right, and our proposal calls for somebody with expertise, with credentialed expertise, not necessarily a teacher.
How much funding for education in Tennessee comes from the federal government, percentage-wise?
Yeah. I don't know, but it's
It's a good bit. And I guess a second question there, who dictates the curriculum? The NEA, National Education Association, they dictate the curriculum to be approved, to be certified?
They can say all they want to, you know. They can say all they want to about approving curriculum in Tennessee, that they have no say.
How can parents get out of Common Core, the excessive testing, and protect their children's data?
Well, what we're trying to do is make sure that we can statutorily do that. That we can pass laws that protect the data on children. The testing, well, we'll continue to test. What form that might take might change, but we will continue to test. And what was the first one? I'm sorry.
Let's see, Common Core, how can the parents get out of Common Core? The excessive testing and protect their children's data.
Okay, out of Common Core, we will be using Common Core standards in public education in Tennessee. It'll obviously get tweaked along the way. Nothing stays the same as we find better ways of doing things. I mean, that's the way. But probably if a parent wanted to homeschool them, which we're working on getting equal opportunity scholarships for folks to send their children to whatever school they want. See, that's my vision, my dream, that you can wake up in the morning and you can send your child to whatever school that you think serves that child's needs. This whole issue of zoning schools, school zones, is beyond my understanding. I don't know how we got there. I do not know how we got there, but that is incredibly wrong. Why should your child be a prisoner of their zip code? This makes no sense. So, in any case, that's another.
I beg to differ. My dream is to have a neighborhood school that my children will know everybody in the neighborhood, and I know their parents, and I want a close-knit community.
Wouldn't that be great?
That's what we have, but with vouchers, the good private schools, I'd love for my child to go to Hutchinson, but they're not gonna take vouchers. It's gonna be the mediocre private schools that are gonna take the vouchers, and then they're gonna have the strings attached with Common Core and testing, and they're not gonna wanna do that. So the vouchers don't improve education for anyone. They just take money and resources away from our public schools.
It destroyed public schools.
They hurt public schools.
I think we have the questions.
Yes, would you be willing to take the 8th grade TCAP or PARCC or even the 5th grade?
If you watch the Common Core hearings, when we heard what the standards were for 5th graders, I said, it gives a new meaning to are you smarter than a 5th grader? Because that was very impressive. But you know, it's really interesting. I was talking to a superintendent yesterday who said that she was visiting a kindergarten class and they were doing math. And she walked over to this child and she said, and they had crayons, walked over to this child and she says, are you drawing a graph? And the child looked up at her and said, no, I'm tracking my trend line. And she said to the child, sweetie, you just go ahead and do that. So, you know,
No question.
I think we underestimate children, they're just wonderful, they're just
No, we
magic.
push children too far is what we do.
Well, I think they're just magic.
Here's, I guess, what you might call a personal question. How much money did you get from Student First, and when are you up for re-election?
Okay, I'm up for re-election in 2016, and I think this time, I got, they sent me $4,500. Now, there's something you should know about contributions. And contributions follow conviction. I've never known it to be the other way around.
Okay. As a Republican, why are you supporting more governmental control with your sponsored bills and votes? Why are you hurting our community schools with vouchers, charters, and Common Core? Thank you. Already
I think I kind of went through that.
covered that.
Yeah.
How much money from the federal government well, we've already asked that as well. Oh, came in for Common Core acceptance through the Gates Foundation, and it looks like, is it Pearson Printing? Pearson Books, yeah. How much money came in from the federal government came in for Common Core?
I think that's probably the wrong question. The question, I think should be something more to the point of why did you pass first to the top? And I think I think that if you don't know this by now, and you probably do, is that when we passed first to the top, it was not contingent on getting the money. That wasn't in the bill. So it's important that you know that, because the education reform we intended to do anyway, whether we won Race to the Top or not. Because we already knew from teachers what was happening, and we were on our way.
Regarding Senate Bill 677 and House Bill 1267, why do you want to take away local control from our communities? Did this bill come from ALEC?
I don't remember the numbers. Which bill is that? I mean, whoever asked the question, tell me what bill.
It's the bill that you're sponsoring about taking away local control from school boards, where the Commissioner of Education and State School Board can come in and take over. Got it right here. Doesn't have a title.
Are you talking about the authorizer? The authorizer bill that on
No,
the
Senate Bill
on the
677 by Gresham. It will, it will rate the schools as 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star, and the Commissioner of Education.
Oh, no, that's right. No, that's different. That doesn't take away local control.
Where they can come in and control the budget and.
No, what that does is an accountability bill that looks at how each of our LEAs manage are responsibly, fiscally responsible.
Okay, so it's a
for fiscally-
micromanaging bill then? Like our teachers are being
No, I
micromanaged
would
through
not-
the evaluation system.
No,
and
I would not
teaching
look at it that
boards.
way. In fact, I
It's
just
more
talked to,
control.
I just talked to about 100 superintendents of schools, a couple of weeks ago, and I asked them, tell me what kind of autonomy that you want. Because there are a lot of laws that tell superintendents what they should do and how they should do it and all that kind of thing. So one of the things is to restore as much locally autonomy to superintendents as we can, to strengthen our local control. So that's why I asked him, tell me what kind of autonomy do you want? And I haven't gotten anything back,